BizLocal.AI Web Scraper lets you effortlessly scrape any website in GoHighLevel, generating markdown, plain text, or AI-powered summaries while auto-populating contact fields like business name, email, phone, and address to streamline your lead generation. Let's look at the 2 ways you can use BizLocal.AI Web Scraper. Option 1, Workflow, Premium Action, the easiest option, integrate directly into high-level workflows. Note, this requires high-level's premium action fee. Option 2, Webhook Action, a completely free option that offers the same powerful functionality but needs a little bit more setup. No matter which method you choose, BizLocal.AI gives you the tools to scrape, organize, and automate your data seamlessly. Let's dive in and see how it works. This demo will show you how to use the BizLocal.AI Web Scraper to scrape any website into Markdown, text, or AI summary and populate contact as a premium action in GoHighLevel. First, let's create a new workflow from scratch. In the Workflow Builder page, find the search box for workflow actions at the top right. Simply search for Web Scraper, and the BizLocal.AI app will appear in the search results. Click on it, and you will see the Web Scraper for conversational AI action. If it's grayed out, it means you need to install the app to enable the action. Click on the app details, then click Install App. This will redirect you to the BizLocal.AI app page. Click Install and follow the prompts. After a few steps, you'll be redirected to the BizLocal.AI login page. Log in with your Google account or create a new one, then continue as prompted. Once you are signed in, you'll be redirected to the BizLocal.AI dashboard, where you'll see the default bot for conversational AI and the sub-account. Make sure the sub-account is connected. Now let's go back to the Workflow Builder page, close the pop-up window, and refresh the page. Once the page reloads, search for Web Scraper again in the Actions search box. Since the app is installed, the Web Scraper for conversational AI action will now appear. Open the action and you'll see a few inputs. The URL field specifies the website you want to scrape. Let's use Nu Skin, a med spa in Bellevue, Washington. The output format lets you choose the response format, Markdown, plain text, or summary. The Save To field specifies the custom field to save Web Scraper result. Note, do not include double brackets. The Populate Contact field, which, when selected, will automatically extract information such as business name, email, phone, and address from the URL and save it to the contact. Now let's save the workflow and test it out. In another browser tab, let's go to a contact page and check its initial state. You'll see that it currently contains empty fields. Now let's go to the workflow page and test the workflow. Select the contact information and click Run Test. The workflow will execute as shown in the execution log. Let's return to the contact page and refresh. You'll see that contact information has been extracted from the web page and populated into the standard contact fields. This includes business name, phone, address, city, state, and time zone. The web content contains the full Markdown result. Let's copy the Markdown into a Markdown viewer to see how it looks. After pasting the content, you'll see that in addition to plain text, it also captures the menu, headings, links, images, etc., making it the perfect input for ChatGPT or other LLMs. Now, let's return to the workflow page and update the workflow to automatically update contact information whenever the contact's web link changes. First, let's add a trigger condition. The trigger condition will be contact changed, and we'll filter it based on the custom field web URL. This means the workflow will trigger whenever the web URL is added or changed. Now let's update the web scraper action. In the URL field, instead of using a hard-coded link, let's select the custom field web URL so that it will dynamically pull the contact's web URL. Since our trigger condition is based on the web URL, the workflow will trigger whenever this field changes. For the output format, let's choose Summary to get an AI summary of the scraped content. Let's save the workflow, toggle the state to Publish, and click Save so that the workflow is published. Now let's go back to the contact page. Since the workflow is published, we should see the contact updated whenever the web URL field changes. The web content currently contains information from Nu Skin. Let's add a new URL, https://ruma.com, and click Save. Now the workflow should trigger and pull information from Ruma, which is a med spa in Utah. Let's refresh the page and check what has changed. We can see that the phone and email have updated to Ruma's information, and the web content has been replaced with the summary of Ruma. Let's copy the summary text and see what it contains. After pasting the content into Notepad, we see a detailed summary, up to 1,500 chars of Ruma aesthetics. Additionally, the city, state, and time zone have been updated to Utah as well. This is how we use BizLocal.AI Web Scraper in GoHighLevel. Now let's dive into option 2, using the BizLocal.AI Web Scraper as a webhook action. This is a powerful and completely free action in GoHighLevel to use our scraper while maintaining the same robust functionality for scraping websites and auto-populating contact fields. Before we begin, you'll need to have the BizLocal.AI app installed. If you haven't installed it yet, check out our earlier video where we guide you step by step on how to install it from the HighLevel app marketplace. Once the app is installed, you're ready to configure and use the webhook action. Let's get started. Here's how to use BizLocal.AI Web Scraper through the webhook. First, if you've published a workflow using the BizLocal Web Scraper as a premium action, let's disable it so it will not be triggered. Now let's create a new workflow from scratch. In the Workflow Builder page, search for webhook in the Actions search box. You'll see the webhook action, which is free in GoHighLevel. Open it, and in the webhook URL, please enter www.bizlocal.ai/API/scrape here. There are also custom data fields. Let's add a few fields here. First, add a URL field, which is the target URL to scrape. Let's use contact custom fields contact.webURL here. Now add an output format field, which can be Markdown, plain text, or AI summary. Let's use Markdown here. Next is the Save To field to store the scraped web content. Let's use custom field contact.webcontent here. Please note, do not add double brackets. Next, add the recrawl field and set it to true so it always rescrape the web page even it has already been scraped before. Next, add the populate contact field and set it to true so it will auto-parse the scraped content, extract key information, and populate them into the contact standard fields. Now let's save the workflow so the webhook action has been set up. We'll now update the workflow trigger to auto-refresh contact details whenever URL changes. To do this, add a trigger condition, contact changed, and filter it by the custom field web URL. This ensures the workflow triggers anytime the web URL is added or updated. Let's toggle the workflow status to published and save it. Let's test this out. Go to the contact page. Since the workflow is now live, when we update the contact's web URL, the contact information will refresh. For example, the contact currently shows information from Newskin. Let's add a new URL, https://ruma.com, and click Save. This triggers the workflow to scrape and populate Ruma's details, a med spa in Utah. Now let's refresh the page. You'll see that the phone number and email have updated to Ruma's information, the web content has been replaced with Ruma's markdown data, and the city, state, and time zone now reflect Utah. This demonstrates how effortlessly BizLocal.AI's web scraper crawls any website and keeps contact information up to date.